Hey there fellas, in today's episode we're going to be doing maintaining full in depth, and also I want to start off a little bit with one little experiment that I decided to do. So since the last video I haven't drove for a week, so why I did that? Now if you watch the last video, which was about gloves versus bare hands, you could see that I've got myself a new pair of gloves. These ones are not torn, not cut. But let me show you. Squeaking chair. Now, watch. Look how worn out these are. They're so slippery. These also have a little silicone lines, which I have completely forgot about, because this, I guess, when they wear out, they got so slidey. Now, what's my little test that I'm gonna do on myself is I want to see how fast the muscle memory, everything is gonna click in. So, what's the test gonna be? Now, new gloves, way more grippier than these. I need to adapt to them. Also, haven't drove in a week, so we're gonna see how fast I adapt. And I've also, you could see, I've prepared a little small list here of paper to write the points that I want to cover today. You could see with each new video we're getting in way more in depth and way more in depth and way more in depth. The information is getting so deep, it's so much information that I will start to go in circles or I might get lost. I want to make sure I stay on point, so this time I had to prepare pointers. Now, just on the topics, and then obviously once I get the topic I'll just start rumbling my mouth and so on. Now, I'm gonna do exactly the same things that we usually do with you guys. Minus 160 second gear, let's go up to 65. You could see it's quite uncomfortable. Haven't used in a while. Ooh, very grippy. Did you hear that? This squeaky noise. Oh my days. Okay, let me hold the bass throttle. I'm not gonna modulate with my foot. I'll try not to. Let's see how good of a line. Ooh, went a bit wider this time, so that means my timing is a bit off. Let's see, I'm gonna try to rotate the car nicely and smoothly. So the goal is to be nice and smooth and see if I can hold the same line, or a good line at least. Oh, big mistake. See, that's what happens when you're rushing too much. Obviously it's best with modulations, but we'll reach there. It's a very bad idea to go into modulations without realizing how to use your steering wheel first. So let's go and see if we can hold on to the same line for at least like a minute or two. So that's just testing muscle memory. How quick can you get back? And also I'm talking, so I'm taking away a bit of the focus, but you know, for me that's not that important. I know that I just need a little bit of time, so I don't mind explaining some stuff as well on the way. Now I think that's enough, so let's lower a little bit. That's a very easy way to exit drift. Do you know have we even taught how to exit drift? I guess I can make like a very simple video about techniques, but in a nutshell, as you lower, you start to unwind the wheel back, depending obviously to where you countersteer. Very simple. Now, let's check the... give me a second. I'm sorry, the chair is gonna squeak. Well, you know, this is not great, but it's not too bad, given the fact that we're only using, you know, the throttle steering. Not too bad, honestly. I expected worse. So, I was expecting it to be very ugly. Now, what we're gonna talk about now. So, I want to just cover this. You see, I have new gloves. Doesn't matter if you change the gloves or you buy a new pair, it's gonna be way grippier. You heard that, guys. Come on, like, I'm pretty sure you heard the squeaking. And doesn't matter. I bought a bicycle and I drove it after I rode my new bicycle, you know, after 10 years. I didn't ride bicycle and so on. And obviously, it started to kick back in. It took me like a week to get a bit more confident and so on. But it just shows, doesn't matter how much time you're off something, you will get back very quickly. Same with the gym. You used to, you know, pushing the bench 60, 80, 100, whatever it is. You go back, you know, first week, maybe you push 80% of that or 90%, but you get very quickly back to usually where you used to be. The body remembers. So powerful. Like when you just check science, like the science about everything, you know, muscle memory is no joke. Now, we're gonna go very in depth now with maintaining. So we're gonna talk about number 2. Since we covered muscle memory, we're gonna talk about base throttle. Now, what I call base throttle, let me elaborate, as the tires are also going cold. So now, for each track, each corner, there's base amount of like, okay, you know, this corner I need to slow down, you keep it maybe like a 60 for a short period of time, or you know, fluctuate between, you know, certain base off throttle percentage. So let me explain. We're gonna go again into maintaining just to drive, so it's easier to explain. Okay. Wow, the sound, guys, and you see how it gripped up? I literally had to let it fly back to stabilize. It grips up. Oh, it set me off so bad. Oh, do you hear that? Oh man. How much these gloves grip up. I need to warn them out. Now, so base throttle. Why I'm holding 80% and why I advise you to hold 80%? Because that's the most optimal amount of throttle, of power to use for the car to stay in the angle we want. Look, I'm barely doing jack crap. I am barely doing anything. Look, the car is driving itself. I'm barely doing anything on the wheel. And you're like, oh my god, this guy is cheating. You son of a, you know. So, I know it looks easy. I know I might make it look easy, but you guys can do this too. It's super simple. It's just, it's literally just by the book. If you get up to 80, it's all about get good initiation, get good momentum, good angle, and then build yourself up to 80, hold on there, and then we're gonna start to just control. I barely have to wiggle. I'm literally wiggling a little bit between like 10 degrees. And you're like, oh my god, how do you do that? So, back to the topic, and I'll go, I'm gonna jump from topic to topic. It's so crazy today. The reason why we use base amount of throttle is because 80 is exactly what we need. That's the right amount of throttle for this corner, because the donut is a never-ending corner, which will lead us in a moment into another topic. I might jump into way ahead of the topics. I think I'm gonna combine them. It's way better this way. So you see, I'm 80, 90, and the car has big angle. We have the most optimal angle, but you see, when the tires also got heated up, now the car started to gain way too much angle. I'm like, oh wow, I have to stabilize more, and so on. Like, we started to go offline. So that's why, guys, I've been on the donut for so long. There's crazy amount of exercises and techniques you can learn here, and you go to the track and you're like, oh my god, I can do this, I can do that. Yeah, because you learn them here. Above 80, 85, 90, 85, maybe you can scramble it, but again, the moment the tires start to go up to like 55, 60, you saw that we started to over-rotate more than we need. So that's why I found 80, between 80, 85 tops is around the best possible place you want to be in terms of base amount of throttle for this place. Why? It ensures we have good angle, we have good loss of grip, and we're perfectly onto the line. If we go, I would say stay on 80, forget even about 85. If we go 85, we're gonna go way wider and we're gonna go over the curb. So 80 ensures the perfect trajectory and the car to go exactly where we need it. Obviously, this is influenced by our steering, but we just gotta keep, you know, turning small but frequent, which will lead us into the other topic. Now you see, and the car will go just next, right about, a little bit off the curbs and so on. So that's very good trajectory. Now, we're gonna talk about why people steer so much. I'm gonna leave the control zone a little bit for later. We're gonna jump into 5 and 6, point 5 and 6 from second point. I just listed them, it doesn't matter which one I go to. Now, why would people steer so much when you're going into maintaining? And I'll explain why you also want to hold the base and not go into modulations right now. So let's initiate. Lower. Do you hear that? Oh, the squeaking from the gloves, man. The grip. I kind of miss it, and I don't know, it's cool. It's like, makes me aware that I'm applying the friction. That's because I keep, you know, my hands here, and it's the friction is that. That's awesome. Sometimes the small things are just making me happy. What the fuck? Anyways, now you see, I want you to notice something. Do you notice something in my pattern now? I'm using 75. Look at the steering wheel. Do you see? You don't. Okay. Notice how much work I'm putting in. Look how much I have to steer myself. Why are people steering so much? Or especially if you lower even more. Look. Oh, that's so ugly. This is so ugly. The car is twitching. Can you imagine if you have people behind you, like, you know, outside seeing you do this? This is so bad. It's gonna look so bad. Why? The most simple way. If you have to steer yourself like crazy like that, raise up the throttle. You're low on the gas. You're low on throttle. Raise it up. Your base amount of power that you're saying to the rear wheels is low. You need to lose that extra grip for the back to step out and you to have good momentum. You are low on throttle. So now, again, watch. Let's go again. How to get away from that problem? We go up to, by muscle memory, I'm going up to 80. Now, I'm gonna go down to 70 or 65. I'll have to steer myself like a maniac. Now, you see this? It's crazy. And we're gonna talk about the frequency. Remind me, so I don't forget. Remind me in the comments. Make sure to cover frequency. I'm kidding, guys. But now, you can comment that, it's fine. And now, we stay on 70 and I'm steering like a maniac. Why? Well, we can't get the back of the car out. We need to lose the grip. So let's go 80. Boom. Look, now I'm barely doing jack crap. See? Easy. Way less. Way optimal. We're going on the right line. You see, this is the optimal amount of power for the donut, and especially, you know, for the tire pressure that we're running. If you run a little bit of colder tires, maybe you could raise the base at the beginning to 85. That's perfectly fine. But again, I think we're gonna talk about tires in maybe a next video. It's a lot of details. Like, let's leave this now. I've really prepared myself mentally for something else. Like, tires are, for me, tires are a bit cancer. A lot to explain. I like to switch topics a bit. So, why you steer so much? Now, let me explain why you want to hold the base. Why you guys steer so much? Because you're low on throttle. So you fix this out of the way this way. Now we move to hold the base and throttle, work your work your wheel. Okay, so what's the deal here, guys? Why do you want to aim on the wheel if first this is working your foot to hold a certain percentage? Once you watch the previous videos, you've built yourself up, go to 60 hold, then you ramp up to 80, and then to hold on 80, that's not easy. There are a lot of people who try that. It's not easy. Everybody was struggling at the beginning. Everybody. So, a lot of friction. Let's build the angle back up. Now, holding on to 80, as easy as it might seem and look in the video, it's not that easy as it looks. So, now, you see, why we want to hold on the gas and work the wheel? Because it's extremely important that you know how to use one of your tools to be ahead. You don't want to work your feet first and ditch your wheel game, because then you'll be again, oh my god, like left or right, you'll be countering too much, you'll be steering too much, and like doing all these idiotic movements, right? So wanna make sure that the feet goes up and the wheel goes up. Our hands are good and our feet are good. So the feet goes up and the hands game goes up. Now, let me stabilize the car. So, having this in mind, we want to hold On 80, hold your foot and progress on your hands. Learn to steer. So learn the frequency. Most of the people make one big mistake. Which is the mistake? They'll turn, they'll wait. Oh, rotation's dying. They'll turn big, yank it. Like this, yank it. Or like this. Look, yeah, you do one big turn, but it's visible from outside. The goal is we go nice and smooth, guys. You see big turns until you go into a spin out. Remember, once the tires get heated up and the car is driving like butter, super slidey, and you're so high on the base of throttle, 80%, you need to know that the smallest input that's too much will result in a lot of excessive rotation. You might start to over-rotate to spin out. So, for that purpose, I don't want to see you do big yanks. Let me explain. Okay, why avoid big turns and not just do, you know, why would you avoid the big turns compared to small but frequent? Let me show you. Now, what we want to avoid, this big yanks, big turns. Oh, I'm late, boom, like this. And then you counter all the way and you get in trouble. See, we screwed up the line, you got too big angle, you changed the trajectory, the car pulled too tight. Why all this hassle? Just because you wait, you relax, all the car is turning, and then you're like, oh crap, it's not turning, boom. No. Small movements, but frequent. A little bit. Watch. We're gonna go into control zone next, I guess. Watch. A little bit. 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 Remind the car. Remind the car. A little bit left. A little bit left. A little bit left. A little bit left. Come on, let's turn a little bit. Come on, let's turn a little bit. 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 Look, like butter. That's the goal. You make the illusion that you're not doing jack crap inside a car. Meanwhile, when you look at the graph, when you look at the pedals and everything, like they see like, oh my god, he's doing so much things. It looks so easy. But in reality, it's not. You're doing so much work. It's just about precision timing. So rather have such a small inputs, left, right, left, right, left, right, small but frequent, rather than chill, oh, big yank, chill, big yank every 2 seconds. Because like, you need to anticipate if rotation, any rotation you induce, you create, is eventually going to die. Your goal and the car's goal is completely different. The car wants to straighten out, you want to stay sideways. The car will eventually want to kill the rotation, you want to ride and maintain that rotation, induce more. Keep it going. See? So you need to, it's again, you gotta understand, it's like you and the car talk different language. You gotta learn the car's language to understand what the car is telling you, and every action that the car does, you need to understand it. So then finally when you do that, you understand, oh, car wants, you know, oh, where rotation is, you know, washing out, you need to create a little bit more, and then you stabilize slowly. The goal is follow, very important thing, guys, follow the rhythm. So if the tires have warmed up a little bit, but let's go ahead, whoop, let's go, come on, very grippy. Now follow the rhythm. If I turn like this, if I turn slowly to the left, I'll turn slowly to the right. So there's one trick that I'll teach you later on a video how to save yourself. If you do big turn, like big yank, if you turn slowly, you see you can gain the angle way too slowly, or just let the car rotate on inertia rather than going to a massive spin. Because if you do big yank and let the wheel fly out, you see how fast we went into a spin. So imagine you just do one big turn rather than like a 360 or something. So let's say, I'll show you one thing. Just for example, we're gonna cover these. Now I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I had to stop and reset and let the tires cool down a little bit. So we're in maintaining. Let's say you forget a little bit, rotation washes off, you do a bit bigger turn and you slowly countersteer. Bit bigger turn, slowly countersteer. you're not gonna gain angle that fast. You stabilize a little bit, and you're gaining a little bit of angle, and you just leave the car the rest on inertia. Now, if you do a big turn, then you're too slow, you might get into a spin. Has to be right timing. This makes sense. So, if it's just this works if you're just a little bit. So that's why it mainly works when we're countersteering. We catch the spot, which I call the control zone, which is exactly what we're gonna cover today. 40-degree rule and the control zone. Now, what is the control zone? I need to be in driving here so I can explain. Now, the control zone, guys. Where do I start? Jeez. Control zone. You see that? I want you to pay attention to the degrees I'm at now when I'm countersteering. Look. 400, 420, 20 to sometimes 30. So maximum up to 40 degrees, right? So we're playing with like 20, 30, 40 degrees. I'm trying to look, guys. When I'm trying to look at the goddamn numbers, I'm like, I can't even keep the car going properly. Now, 400, 20, 30, yeah, 240. So, okay. What do you need to know? When you're driving, you're in a corner, whatever, because like the donut is never ending corner, right? We're gonna work super minimal range like this, or like maximum around like 40 degrees. Not gonna be much. If you have to do these, like, what are you doing, right? So there's something wrong with your inputs. So there was no way I can explain this, and I couldn't find any terminology in terminals and things like this in, you know, on the internet anywhere. So I had to make up my own stuff. So I call this the control zone. Why the control zone? Because it's where we control how much we turn and how much we stabilize to countersteer. So let me explain. I separate these in 3 sections, the control zone. Number 1 is the turning zone. What is the turning zone? The turning zone, guys, is when... Let me not waste time, go immediately into drift. Turning zone is... Let me stabilize the car, I'll show you. What I call the turning zone, boom 80. Now, turning zone is now, you see our control zone, the 40 degrees, they move depending on the angle. The bigger the angle, the deeper we're gonna dig into the countersteer. You see now I'm hitting the wheel lock. I'm getting deeper, 400 plus degrees, because I'm running a very big angle. If the angle was a little bit shallow, like this, okay, that was too low. If the angle is a little bit shallow, let's see where the control zone is. In about 350 to 390, something like this. 370, 360, 380. You see? That's where we control. So the bigger the angle, the more the control zone goes deeper. Now, let me go back to the turning zone. The turning zone, guys, is when you start returning the wheel to the direction you actually want the car to go. So, and you turn it left, and we started to rotate. That means you're entering the turning zone. You see, start to rotate. That's too low, and finally, you figure it out. The more you start turning, like we're doing a left donut, we start to turn left. Oh, the car now started to rotate. Now we get the car to turn. That's what I call the turning zone. So where you gotta separate it. We need some terms so we understand what the heck we're talking about. Now, boom, go back to 80, and we're maintaining. Up a little bit in the turning zone, turn, stabilize, turn, stabilize, turn, stabilize, turn, stabilize. That's why I called it the turning zone, because we're constantly turning to get the car to turn. We're telling the car, turn a little bit and stabilize into the counter steering a little bit. Turn, stabilize. And in between right here is kind of the neutral. It's like these 5 degrees. So that's the neutral zone. You could use it to stay there, like you get the car to turn, you come in a little bit here, and you see you can let the car just turn on inertia itself. Because it's gonna turn a lot if you, obviously that's like blocking the wheel. But I don't like to fully counter steer all the time. Sometimes you need to know how much rotation you created and so on. I like when I have to, let's say we're holding on to the base on 80%, right? I know I have to turn a lot. So I stay close to the turning zone. Why? Because look how little bit I'm fidgeting. I'm wiggling in this little space of 40 degrees. Why? Because I know if I do a lot, I travel a lot, and now I have to go all the way back. That's a lot of distance you gotta move. From here, you gotta turn back to here. You don't wanna spend all this time, you know, wasted in turning and steering. So, for this purpose, guys, that's why you need to use the 40-degree rule. You don't need to turn a lot. You don't need to yank the wheel. When you go up, right here, we initiate again, lower, tires are super hot, we initiate way early. And now, get back to 80, slowly. A little bit in the turning zone, stabilize. A little bit in the turning zone, stabilize. Nice and smooth, match the same speed. Tempo, tempo, left, slowly to the left, slowly to the right. Slowly to the left, slowly to the right. Even if you do, by the way, even if you do a big yank, you could go nice and slow and you see the car will still turn nicely and gently. So even if you do big yank and you lower, you could just slowly counter steer. When obviously I'm pairing it with the throttle, this will work with modulation best, but when you do a big correct, let's say you did turn a little bit more and it's a bit bigger correction, you could mask it and make it smooth, like you turn a lot by slowly counter steering. Not like this. If you're too late, you spin out. But let's go back up. There you go. Come on. Can't even stabilize the pushing the 30-minute. I'm getting brain dead. 30-minute mark just talking, driving. Now, let me balance the car out. There you go. So, slowly, we do a little bit bigger adjustment. We're gonna turn, but with the same tempo. You'll go deeper into the counter steer, but with the same tempo. Don't change the speed, because if you change the speed, you turn and you counter steer super fast. Yeah, you catch it, but it's visible. It's twitching. It's twitching the car outside. So, yes, in terms of functionality, you will immediately correct this. You will fix the problem, but it's gonna make the car a little bit, you know, twitch, like shake a little bit. Wanna get rid of any possible shakings, twitchings, stutterings of the car, whatever, because they show that we are not in nice and flowy, smooth control. Want to be nice and smooth. So that's the whole purpose of us matching the tempo. And with these guys, I want to summarize because I believe we covered everything. So let's summarize. Muscle memory. Doesn't matter what gloves you use. Doesn't matter how much time you've been off. Yes, it's gonna kick in back. Don't worry. You haven't been driving since a month or two. You'll get back quickly. But again, it's not optimal, of course. So if you can put 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, even on the goddamn donut, just do it so that next time you're free, you won't have to spend a day or a few hours or maybe an hour, 30 minutes or 10 minutes refreshing everything back in. You know what I mean? You can just go and attack it. So that's why. Second, base throttle. We use the right amount of base or the right amount of throttle, let's put it like this, that we're gonna hold for the specific corner. So since the donut is one we try to make a symmetrical, like perfect circle, and it's a never-ending corner, wanna use the same amount of throttle, hold up to 80, and just steer yourself slowly left, slowly right, slowly left, slowly right, slowly left, slowly right. Match the tempo. You see everything is gonna go well. And I could see I'm starting to drive like an idiot myself, so that means the brain fog's settling in, been talking for like 30 minutes straight and being on the donut. So now, control zone. When we're counter steering, we're stabilizing the car, guys. Again, when you start to get the car, you turn left to the direction we actually want the car to turn, and you enter. As you're turning left, you start to get the car to turn. That means you're entering the turning zone. That's how I named it. Need some terms so I can explain easy. I'll show you very quickly. Once again, we go into maintaining, and now we want to get the car to turn. Whoop, we go left, we enter the turning zone, we got it to turn a little bit. Up, we got it to turn a little bit in the turning zone, we stabilize. A little bit in the turning zone, we stabilize. You don't want to go too deep. If you go like this, you don't know how much. So let me explain one very important thing, guys. Why you don't want to turn super fast and yank? Because you don't know where your turning zone is yet, and you will get the car to turn way too much. It's same logic as measure twice, cut once. You don't want to go and cut immediately. You don't know how much you're gonna get the car to rotate, right? Because if you turn, oh, let's cut, like, oh crap, and now you spin out, you over rotate, and God bless you, know, if it's in real life, you're screwed. So that's why go slow. Take your time. You have nowhere to rush. Slowly, whoop, oh, that gets the car to turn. And now you know. Next time you go even slower. Now you burn yourself. You almost spin out. Next time, wow, I didn't pay attention to how grippy the car is. My bad. I'm kick-starting it to save time. The GoPro will shut down probably any moment. Slowly, whoop, oh, it starts to turn very gently. I go very gently, whoop, slowly. Match the tempo, slowly enter the turning zone. Match the tempo, slowly enter the turning zone. Stabilize, slowly enter, stabilize. And we're gonna cover now, so that's about it, guys. Control zone. Now, we're gonna talk a little bit about frequency. You see, rather than doing the big yanks, I tell you, small adjustments, small inputs, but more frequent. Rather you do 2 or 3 little nudges, wigglings, to get the car gently, softly to turn, it's gonna match the big adjustment that you need to do. So it's same if you go tight and wide, which I'll probably cover in the next video. So let me adjust the car, because I'm getting very tired of just talking, guys. That's, imagine 30 minutes driving and talking non-stop. Now, you could even steer the car to go tight and wide, you know what I mean? But if you go to 90, the more you increase the base, the more grip you lose, and if you start telling the car to turn, you might actually go way past what the car can support. That's why, guys, I tell you, hold one amount, 80, and work your hand skill, work the steering wheel skill, so you learn how much you need to steer, how to steer the car. Then we're gonna work the modulations. Hold on 80 and learn how fast you gotta steer to keep the car here on the tight spot. You see? If I can hold the tightest donut with just steering the car with the wheel, you can too. And then you can work yourself to go out as well. So, do you understand how important now working your hands and the steering wheel is? Most people, you just, guys, turn and then like you're using the gas and you do things like this, and you do things like this. This is not good. No, this is not good. If you want to learn absolute precision and smoothness, you gotta have the right exercises. Lock your foot. This is gonna work that muscle memory, so you know how to keep your foot in place and the exact same percentage, and work your skill. How, like, you'll be able to change on demand, depending on the situation, the frequency of your inputs, like smaller but faster, or like a bit bigger and a bit slower, depending on how much you need to turn the car with the steering wheel. You need this way later. But if you learn this, how to steer the car with just the same amount of power, throttle percentage, and you know how to go tighter, and you know how to stay wider, and you know how to stay in the middle with the steering, that's extremely important skill set. You know, you've just elevated, this is your feet, this is your hands, and you elevated your hands, and then we're gonna work these modulations, and now your feet are gonna catch up. And that's where you know everything is gonna work in complete synergy, in complete synchron. So that's for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment down below. This extremely helps me out with the algorithm. I really appreciate it. If you also enjoy the episodes, you want to see the new ones, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell button as well. For now, guys, I wish you happy learning. I will see you in the next video.